Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from San Diego in California. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1742, Networking Riches, day one. We had Networking Riches today. But I have a funny story to tell you, and I've totally forgotten it again. Hang on. Oh, yes, that's right. So yesterday, this goes back to yesterday. Yesterday, when I went to pick up the two older ones from their after school care, I go in there to pick them up, and I had to pick them up earlier than normal. So all the kids were not in the room doing activities. They have a really cool setup there. They have these different educational activities that the kids do before school, before after school. So it's not just a play program. It's actually they get to do things. And this one was crafts. And I'm standing there waiting for the boys to come out, and I'm looking at the table, and they've got all these little brown lumps all on the table that were about this big. And then they had these weird bits of cardstock cut up for them. And I'm like, what the heck is that brown thing? And when I looked at the cardstock, I sort of thought, I wonder if, and I didn't say anything, but I wondered if they were, because I was just like looking at the cardstock and I thought, well, what is the brown thing first? Then I realized it was a pom-pom. And I thought, I wonder if they're going to make a kiwi. It just immediately popped into my head because of the shapes of the cutouts and the brown ball thing. And so I said to them, I says, what activity are they doing today? And one of them turns around and says, oh, they're doing this really weird bird that we found and this New Zealand bird that's really weird. And I said, oh, are they making kiwis? And they looked at me and they went, yeah. I said, what do you know about kiwi? And they go, well, not much. We just saw this bird online and thought it looked really cool and thought we'd make one. I said, would you like a quick lesson on kiwis? Then, because they're a native bird in New Zealand. So and they're the national bird. Do you want a quick rundown on them? And they looked at me puzzled. I said, I'm actually from New Zealand, and I love the kiwi, and I love sharing about the kiwi wherever I can. So if you want a quick rundown that you can pass on to the kids, I'm happy to do that. And they're like, really? They said, do you want to come and teach the class? I said, if I didn't have to get the oldest one, the middle one back home really quick for his T-ball practice, I would happily stay here and help them make kiwi and tell them about the kiwi. I said, but I can give you a quick rundown. They're like, okay. I said, well, first, it's native to New Zealand. It's a national bird of New Zealand, and it's nocturnal. And and then I says, and they have, they've got the long beak, so they can forage in the forest floors. And what makes them very unique to other birds is that their nostrils are on the end of their beak, not up at where the other nostrils are for the other birds. And I said, the other one that makes them very unique too is they actually have whiskers. And they look at me and they go, oh, whiskers? I said, yeah, they've got whiskers. Fortunately, I have my phone on me. And my phone, there is 3 pictures of kiwis. There's a picture of a kiwi, just a picture of a real kiwi. Then there is an x-ray of a kiwi with an egg inside it. And then there is a skeleton of a kiwi with an egg as well. Because what fascinates me the most about kiwis is that their egg is the largest size egg per body ratio. When it's egg to body ratio, it's the largest egg. And they're like, really? I says, yeah. And I says, you want to see a pregnant kiwi? They're like, yeah. So I pull out my phone and pull up the x-ray and show them. They're like, wow. And I said, yeah. I said, this is what it actually looks like. And they go, yeah, that's kind of what we saw. And so I gave them a few facts and figures about kiwis. And I said, now, if you want to know more information, I said, go to the New Zealand Department of Conservation website and search for kiwi, because they are an endangered species. So they have a whole section there on the kiwi and what they're doing to repopulate the kiwi. I said, they are mainly nocturnal birds. There is one species down on Stewart Island, which you will see during the daytime. But they're basically a night bird. And I gave them a very brief, quick story on how the kiwi lost its wings. It's a Maori myth, and about how the kiwi lost its wings. And so they were just like absolutely delighted, because all they'd seen was this weird looking bird that was from New Zealand. So I thought they'd make it, get the kids to make it. But they didn't really have a lot of information to pass on to the kids to educate them about the kiwi when it came to, they're going to be making this bird. They need to know more information about what is this bird, why are they making it, what makes it unique, and that sort of thing, and why is this crazy bird. So had I not been picking up the kids for softball practice or T-ball practice, I would have quite happily stayed and told the kids about the kiwi. So that was what happened yesterday. And I totally forgot to tell you guys about it yesterday on my live, so I apologize for that. But I said, I forgot to tell them that. Oh, we'll tell them today. So yeah, so I didn't get a chance to see the teachers today because the teachers who were there yesterday when I picked up the kids early were not there this afternoon, so I couldn't ask them how their Kiwi experience went because I would really like to know that. But I won't find out tomorrow. But today we had Networking Riches. So I had to make sure that I was like ready to go. So as soon as I got home, got changed. So I was camera ready. I already had my makeup done. So I was like, race out the door, get the kids all dropped off, get home, have breakfast, get changed. So I was camera ready, get my setup done. And I was like thinking, I need something to lift the laptop up at least eye level. And so I found some of those big books, the kids' big books that they have, and piled them up and got myself all organized, got online around the same time that I normally do when we start Networking Riches. And there was already about 8 people online already. And it turned out it was a really, really good day. Today was, they just keep getting better and better, but we had a lot of engagement from people. The breakthrough zones, which if you follow me, every time I talk about Networking Riches, I'm always talking about the breakthrough zones because they are the best part. The rest of Networking Riches is really cool. There's a lot of really cool information there, and a lot of people get a lot of stuff out of it. There was a lot of golden nuggets picked up today by people, and they, when we came back from lunch, Casey, of course, asked about how the texting exercise went and how and what were some of the aha moments that they'd had that morning. And we got some great feedback from people. People were putting stuff in the chat. They were coming off mute and giving and talking about it and things like that. So that was really cool. Then we had 2 amazing breakthrough zones, 2 completely different businesses. 2 businesses we had not done before, that we have never done. These were 2 businesses we have never done before in a breakthrough zone. So this was completely unique, completely brand new. And it was just like, yes. And it got my little brain thingies firing off. And I have little brain thingies, they just fire off. And thinking of different ideas and things like that. And one of the people who did the breakthrough zone, I'm having a call with her on Monday, just to brainstorm some more stuff with her and find out more about her business. Because we may be able to do a collaboration, we may not, I don't know. Got to get to know her a little better. But it's somebody that Casey told me about a few weeks ago and suggested that I follow her on YouTube, because he said her content's just amazing. He says, you got to follow her. And I went, okay. And so I've been following her on YouTube. I found out that she's on Instagram, so I'm going to go follow her on that now too. And she's got a very cool business. But there was 2 very unique businesses that I said we have never done them before. So that was quite amazing to be able to do those. And lots of great ideas floating around, taking people who have been trying to force themselves into a box and giving them permission, finding out that you have permission to break the box. You don't need to stay, your business does not fit in a box. Your business is, and both of them got told your business does not fit in a box. It is one of those ones where you have to break the box open, break the mold, and come up from completely different directions. You have to give yourself permission to do that, which was really cool because for both of them, you saw the eyes just go, I've got permission to do that, because they had been told before, this is your business model, but their business didn't fit into the business model. So they got permission. They got permission to be able to break the mold and step out. And it's going to be amazing watching these 2 people and see what they do with their businesses, because I'm really interested in both of their businesses. And we may get them on. Once I've spoken with them and talked with them a little more and gotten to know them better, we might just bring them on as guests on the podcast. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But yeah, it was really cool. And then we finished up and I had like 45 minutes at the end, by the time we'd finished the team debrief as well, about 45 minutes at the end to just chillax before I had to go pick up the kids from their school programs and stuff. And at the one with the 2 kids, they've got a book fair on this week, and we found out that the youngest one missed his turn at the book fair because it was on Monday, and we didn't know this. And Monday night they had family night, and we missed that as well. So I said to them, I says, is there any way that he can do this? Is there another open night where we can bring him in? And they were like, no. And so they found out during the day that no, there wasn't. And so when I picked up the kids, I just said, we'll go to Barnes and Noble then, and he can spend his book money there. So we went off. He got a really cool, he got a book that he enjoyed. The youngest one, who didn't have a book fair, I said to the 3-year-old, I says, you can get a book too. He walks in, he's mad on Paw Patrol. Now, I love Paw Patrol. I got introduced to Paw Patrol with the oldest grandson because he would stand there and when he would visit us on Wednesday, and he'd look at the TV and he'd go, Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol. And so we'd put Paw Patrol, and if it was too early for Paw Patrol, there was another program that Brad would put on for him. But we made sure that he stayed engaged and he could stop and watch, or he could play, and he would do both, stop and watch, and then you'd go back to playing and that sort of stuff too, because it didn't hold his attention very until Paw Patrol came on, and then he was like all eyes, all attention on the TV. And his brother's this way as well. And so the youngest one walks in, he sees Paw Patrol on this box, and it has like 4 Paw Patrol stories books in this box, and he's like, I want this grandma. I went, okay. So we looked at the price. Yep, that was within, they had a limit. It was within his limit. And so I was like, yep, we'll get you that. And then the middle one took forever to find a book. But in the meantime, I'm looking around the kids section, and there is a really cool book. It's called What to Do with an Idea. And it's a special 10th anniversary edition. Now, here's the really cool part about this, is that at the Barnes & Noble we were at in Escondido, they have it, I don't know if it's at all Barnes & Noble, but this is at Escondido. They have it on sale. It's normally $20. They have it on sale for $10 if you buy another children's book. And I was like, I am not passing up that deal, because that is a really cool children's book about what to do with an idea. And so I thought, I'm just going to buy it for the 3 boys. And so that they can all share and learn from, because it is a really cool book on how to develop an idea from a kid's perspective, how to develop an idea and what to do with it. And if you haven't seen that book, it is amazing. If you've got kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews, go buy them a book, pick that one up for $10. And it's a really cool, actually, I'm going to see if I can, get off here and grab it for you, because it's right here. Hang on. I have to say, this is the coolest, and it's the 10th anniversary commemorative edition. But what do you do with an idea? This is their 10th anniversary cover. It is beautifully done with the black and the gold, and what to do with an idea. And I'll show you like some of the artwork. And it's just beautiful. It's got great artwork, and this is their 10th anniversary, and it's basically black and white with just a little splash of color. See the little splash of color here? And this is just a really cool book. And like I said, Barnes & Noble has it on sale. But the cool part is that the further you get into the book, the more color that appears in the pictures as you go through the book. But this book here, I actually have the version of this before, that's not in the 10th anniversary cover. I've had this, the version I've got, I've probably had, let's see, the oldest one's 9, so I probably had it 8 years. But I thought the commemorative edition, what to do with an idea, and as you go through, more color appears. So it's really cool. He has his idea that follows him around, and it's just a very simple, very cool kids book. But the message that is in here is awesome. And there's a lot of stuff that adults can learn from this book as well. It's like the book, the Dr. Seuss book, Oh, the Places You Will Go, that people seem to give a lot to college graduates as a graduation present. This is another cool book. So if you, I know that it's normally $19.99, but if you get it from Barnes & Noble, I don't know about the other Barnes & Noble, but the one in Escondido has it on sale for $10 if you purchase another children's book. Well, I was getting the youngest one his books anyway, so we could get this for $10. And then the middle child finally found a book that he wanted. So, yeah, we got this today, and we got it for $10. But what was really cool, we're going up to the counter. So the youngest one's carrying his little box, and his little box got a little handle on it, and it's got a Velcro thing, and the books are inside the box. He's carrying the thing. I turned around to, there was something I I can't remember why I had to turn around to talk to the older two who were following me, and I turned back and like I was like 2 seconds, all of 2 seconds. This is how quick these kids move. I turn around, I can't find the youngest one. And I'm like, where the heck did he go? And so I saw him outside. He had walked straight out the door. So I said, here, hang on to this, gave the book to the boys. And I said, stay right there. I'll be right back. I went out and got him, brought him back in. So he'd just 3-year-old, just walked out the door with his books. I said, look, you got to come back in here. We can't leave the store without the books yet. You got to go pay for them. And as I'm walking out the door, I hear somebody calling the middle son. And I'm like looking around, and who's behind the counter? But the youngest one's preschool teacher was behind the counter. And she had also been the preschool teacher for the middle son as well. So she knew who the boys were. And the oldest one had gone in to drop off the youngest one, the middle one. And so she knew all 3 boys. And so, of course, the youngest one goes running up to her. And they're trying to give her the books to pay for. I says, no, we've got to go and get in line. Because there was another lady standing in front of us. So the preschool teacher got to check us out. And then we'll see her tomorrow morning when we drop the youngest one off at daycare. So it's going to be fun. And then I found out today that I have to pick up the boys at like 2. The older 2, I have to pick them up at 2:00 because school is getting out early. The middle one's got a field trip tomorrow to the safari park, which is going to be awesome. I love the safari park. I'm not going. I've got Networking Riches on. And so I'm hoping like that everything goes on time with Networking Riches, or I'm going to have to leave early and go. But we're supposed to finish at 1:00 tomorrow, and then we have the team debrief. And so if they keep it nice and short, I can still check out of there at 1:30 to go pick up actually I don't even need that, 1:45, because they're literally down the street to the school. But yeah, so it's been a really cool day. And I'm glad I got to do Networking Riches and I didn't have to say, sorry, can't do it, but got that done. So I'm going to have tomorrow afternoon, I'll have a couple of hours with the older 2 tomorrow afternoon before we have to go pick up the youngest one from daycare. So we might go pick him up just a little earlier than normal. And I don't know, maybe go do something with the kids after that. So we've had a great day at Networking Riches. It was a really cool day today. Lots of engagement, lots of nuggets people picked up on. And the cool part is that we didn't have very many repeats today, which is nice because sometimes you see the same people over and over and over and over and over again at Networking Riches. There was a whole bunch of new people on today, which was awesome. So I just got the dog. I'm wondering what she's been up to because I've been hearing funny noises. So I have to go see what she's been chomping on now. You got to make sure all doors are closed at all times, that there's nothing on the floor that she can chew on. Somehow she still seems to find stuff to chew on. But yeah, we got to go take her outside, get her some water, take her outside and all that stuff. So that's it from me for today. You'll hear back from me tomorrow night on Networking Riches Day 2 and see how we go. And I won't get to see their after school teachers tomorrow because it's closed. So maybe Friday I'll find out about the Kiwi, how they did with the Kiwi on Tuesday. Anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Remember, really cool book. Adults can learn from this. But a really cool book to show kids that if you have an idea, this is what you can do to develop it. And see, this is the little boy here, and this is his idea. And as he goes through the book, the idea grows. And there's more color that comes into the drawings and everything else till the idea comes to fruition. So I know I've probably just given you the whole synopsis of the book, but it's the journey along the way. So go. I don't know how long that sale's on for, but I'm quite glad I got that for them because it's a really cool book. So guess what we're going to be reading tomorrow? Paw Patrol, some superhero book with PJs in it, and maybe that one too. Anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Go buy a book. Books are fun. I got in touch with a friend of mine that I haven't spoken to for like 3 years, I guess, since I last saw him, and to find out that he's in the process of he's about to release his 3rd book in a series. And I was like, I didn't even know you had written book 2. So I'm going to go, I've already got book 1 and read that, and I'm going to go get book 2 and read that, and hopefully get that done in time because his books are sagas. Yes. And So I'll read book. I've read book one. I might read that one to refresh the memory, and then I'll go read book two, and then his third one's going to be coming out in June or July, I think it is. So looking forward to that because he's a really good writer, and he was one of the people who were when I was living here in San Diego and Solana Beach. In Solana Beach, we had a writers group that would meet every, was it Wednesday or Tuesday? It was either Wednesday or Tuesday, and we took along a portion we'd written, and we had a word count limit on what we could bring along. It had to be printed, double spaced, with a copy for everybody. And then we would sit there, and while the author read it to us, we then went through with our pens and we noticed grammar, sentence structure. This doesn't flow right. You've got this character doing this, but how did they get to do that? Because you missed a step. It was like in one book, I remember these kids were driving a car, and one of them had strapped books to her feet so she could reach the pedals. And then, of course, when they got to where they were going, they're running. And I'm like, what did you do with the books on her feet? And then when she came to drive the car away, she wouldn't have had the books on her feet. So how did she reach the pedals? And because, we find that out. Looking for inconsistencies and things like that to try and get the book is really good. And we had another one in there who does these really cool sci-fi stories, and I'm not a sci-fi fan, but his stories are really cool. And he even had this kid who could travel back in time, and he would take over the body of somebody famous, which was really cool. And then find himself in this person's kind of think of Quantum Leap, but at a kid's level. Although he wasn't quantum leaping, he was going in through this gas cannon. He could get back out again. There was ways that he could get back out. So it was pretty cool that with that one. And he also had this space one and spaceships and things like that too, which I'm not a sci-fi person, but these were really entertaining. And then we have another one who's done young adult books on dragon riders and really, really cool stories. And I found her bookmark the other day, and I thought, oh, I have to go find, because there was one that she was almost at the point of finishing it, and we were doing the final read through on the last chapters. And when I moved from the area, and so she was doing like the final read through, and we got to doing it in 2020. We were doing it virtually on Zoom, and so we would email our copies out, and then they would mark them up with the comments in Word and then send them back. And she was almost finished with the next book in the series, and I was like, oh, I need to read that. And I've totally forgotten to go and get it. And I found the bookmark for it the other day, so now I've got to go get that. And then we had another one who would write articles for the Native Indian tribe that lives in the San Diego area here. And that was really fascinating too, with some of the stuff that they had, and some of the things that she was writing about, because some of it was history and really fascinating stuff. So we had and then we had another woman who was, she was writing her memoirs. Now, this woman writing memoirs, I got to tell you, I go in there one night, we'll meet at Panera Bread. So I go and put my food order in, and then go and grab the big table. And then, because usually I was the first one there. And this lady was already there, and she's got this journal. I kid you not. It's like about this big, this tall, about this wide, and about this thick. It was like an inch thick, maybe a couple of inches tall by about an inch wide. And that was her journal from when she was a child. And she was writing her memoirs about their time in Egypt back in the 1930s, 1940s, I think it was 1940s, 1950s, somewhere around there. And I'm like looking, and there's this very tiny little, beautifully written journal, and that was her journal when she was a child, and it had all of her and it had her stories in it. And I'm like looking at it going, how on earth are you reading that? She said, oh, I have very good eyesight. I'm like, I would need a magnifying glass to read that. I says, how did you even write that? She says, oh, I write very small. I says, obviously. Somebody just dropped something. They have been told to stay in bed. I don't want to hear any sounds from up there, or their books that they got today would be taken away until Saturday. So I said, if I have to come up here, the books are disappearing. So they've been very quiet until now. So they've lasted about 25 minutes. which is better than the 5 minutes that it has been. Hey, get your nose out of that. So yeah, so she was transcribing her notes from her journal, from this little tiny journal, onto this pages and stuff. And her story time for her in Egypt was very interesting. And if I remember correctly, her father worked for the American embassy, but I'm not sure in what role. So there was all of that sort of stuff that went on there, and the things that happened while they were at the embassy and stuff like that too. So really, really cool stories. So we had a group of really cool writers that came in, and this other girl, she did this really cool kids story, which was kind of sci-fi, of more fantasy, I think, more fantasy. But yeah, we had a really cool group of writers, and I was doing a lot of writing back then, and I haven't done any for a while. So yeah, but to find out that this one is now into his third book, and he was halfway, when I was there, he was halfway through writing the first book. And that was in 2021 or 2022 when I last spoke with him. And he's now published that one. He's published the second one, and he's about to publish the third one. So I'm sort of like, I got to do some catching up. And his books are sagas, so they're not small books, his ones. So they'll keep me occupied for a bit. But anyway, you going to say hi, Lucy? Since you're already here, you going to say hi? Yeah, very affectionate dog, this one. She comes up on me when she wants something. Like outside. Do you want outside? Okay. We got to go. Let her out. Anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening around 8 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, konera. Look, I've got to be able to use my hand to turn this off. Look, get your head away.